You need to look at yourself as the future that have arrived. Am I proud of this future that have arrived? So I take it in different dimensions. Am I proud of the future in my finances? Am I proud of the future in my health? Am I proud of the future in my academics? Am I proud of the future in my marriage? That's the future that has arrived. And then you now decide, so what do I do based on the future that I want? Go back again to Deuteronomy 30:19. Having laid that foundation, I want to show you 3 C's that would help you unlock the future that God has in store for you. So he said, I call heaven and earth to what? To record what? This day against you. So the future begins in a particular day, and I'll tell you why. He said, I've set before you what? That's the future that is being formed. Remember, they've spent about 40 years what? In the wilderness, and they stood on the verge of possessing Canaan. And scripture tells us that Canaan was the land flowing with what? With milk and honey. But here Moses, just before they entered Canaan, said, I've set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. But it now says, therefore choose life. So that what this tells us is that it's not Canaan that determines your experience, it's your choices. Hello? Are you following me? So Moses was telling them that Canaan can be a land of blessing or a land of what? Curse. By the what? The choice that you make. And not even the heavens or the earth can change it. That's why I said I called what? Heaven and earth to do what? Record. So the heavens and the earth are simply record keepers. The choices you make are recorded. And the forces of the universe works to bring to pass the consequences of the choices that you make. He said, I call heaven and earth to record what? This day. So the future happens before you enter it by the choices that you make. So before you enter Canaan, you must what? Make what? A choice. If you enter Canaan without making a choice, that's senseless living. That's why the Bible now says there will not be poor in the land. It's okay, but I choose not to be in that verse. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. There will not be poor in the land. But I do what? I choose not to what? Not to enter in that particular verse. Jesus said, one of you will betray me. He didn't put the name of the person. It was Judas's choice that made him a betrayer. The scripture tells us that before now he was what? A thief. He was stealing. By the choices he made, he opened his life to fulfill a negative prophecy. The choices we make determines to a large extent whether we'll enter the future that God has in store for us. Can I say something to you? So it means that your choice can undermine God's plan for your life. Hello? Did you get what I said? Canaan was God's choice for them. It was a land flowing with what? Milk and honey. But he says, I call heaven and earth to record this day before you. So if we go to Canaan and 50 years down the line, and Canaan has become a land of curse, is as a result of what? The choices that we make. So a promised future can still be undermined by present choices. It's the choices that we make. And look at the power of choices. It says that both you and your descendants may live. So choices have generational impact. So it says when you make the right choice will not only what? Affect you, it will also affect what? Your descendants. That's the concept of legacy. You know, this team is engaging the future, resilience, transformation, and legacy. It says that both you and your descendants. I said to my friends and I said to even if you don't like yourself to want to succeed, at least have mercy on your children.